get a lull in daylight, but you don't get darkness as in such, you know.
Is there 24-hour daylight in Antarctica, yes or no?
No, not all the time, no.
Well, that's weird. We're only 10 seconds into the video and you've already said that we do get 24 hours of sun.
You get a lull in daylight, but you don't get darkness as in such, you know.
And then you said that we don't.
No, not all the time, no.
So, which is it, Robert? Please subscribe. I uploaded a video last Wednesday about everyone's favourite piece of human garbage, Nathan Oakley. Now, since TFE's been a talking point among the flat earth community, Oakley's been citing this guy called Robert Shortman and claiming that his testimony alone blows TFE out of the water. But what if I told you I'd been sent a couple of videos that were made a few years back which show us, without a doubt, that Robert is just as much of a liar as Oakley himself. Now, before we take a look at that video, I just wanted to thank Pat from DOC Studios for sending them over to me, and I've linked his channel below in case you wanted to check it out, and to ask you for a minute of your time to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Fume. Looking to break free from those habits you know aren't doing you any favours? Let me introduce you to something truly different. Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavoured air device that's making waves for all the right reasons. It's designed for anybody wanting to ditch old unhealthy habits and replace them with something fresh, natural and downright enjoyable. Here's what makes Fume stand out. It's not a vape. That's right, no nicotine, no chemicals, just pure, flavourful goodness that you can enjoy anytime, anywhere. Imagine this, a device that doesn't need batteries, doesn't require charging, and doesn't fill your lungs with anything harmful. It's just you and a satisfying natural flavour experience that's ready whenever you are. It's simplicity at its finest, and people are loving it. In fact, over 300,000 people have already made the switch to Fume, making it their go-to for a cleaner, more enjoyable alternative. And here's the best part. Right now, there's an exclusive offer just for you. Use my code Creaky when you order and you'll get a free topper for your Fume device. What's a topper, you ask? It's the perfect little accessory that adds a softer, warmer feel to your Fume experience. It's even chewable, which is great if you're someone who likes to fidget. Plus, it's reusable, so you can enjoy it time and time again. So don't miss out on this limited time offer. Head over to tryfume.com, that's tryfum.com, and use code Creaky at checkout. Or, if it's easier, just scan the QR code on your screen. Order your journey pack today and get that free topper as a bonus. Trust me, your future self is gonna thank you. So we all know that Oakley's been throwing this Robert Shortman name around as if it came with a free set of steak knives. And as I'm sure my last video, as I hope my last video showed, he's not exactly confident in his claims. And I think he was pretty much just saying what he knew Oakley wanted to hear. But Pat from DOC Studios reached out to Robert Shortman to get some clarity on his claims. And that's where we begin.
The response I got for the first time ever from Robert said, "First of all, you're very deluded and haven't got a clue about the world and who created it."
Well, that's not a very friendly first contact, is it, Robert? Because all Pat did was send you a message asking you to comment on your claim that you didn't see the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And you decided that your first ever reply would be an attack rather than a conversation. Why so scared? Pat's a really nice guy, and he just wanted to talk to you about your claims.
The world is ending. Jesus Christ created everything. It's called creation, and personally, I don't believe in the satanic, Masonic bullshit from this world. I'm sure you've had the vaccine and have been indoctrinated into lies.
All pretty standard flat earther stuff. Maybe I should have asked Pat for a copy of the message he sent to Robert Shortman as well. Maybe Pat asked him to respond with stuff which is completely irrelevant to the question he asked. Really, this could have been a one-word reply, yes or no. Either you did or didn't see the 24-hour sun.
Defamation is when a person or organization uses language to ruin the reputation of a person or business. Slander is spoken defamation. Written defamation or libel is anything published or broadcast. Be warned, I will.
So when are you suing Nathan Oakley then, Robert? Because if anybody has ruined your reputation, it's him.
I saw a conversation between Patricia Steer, I believe it is, and Robert at a UK meetup for Flat Earth in the last couple of weeks, where he said in that conversation that he'd been there for 12 months, not 18 months. So there was a discrepancy there already. Then there's also an actual post written by Robert Shortman when he was at the base that you can see in front of you, where he identified himself as the winter plumber.
Very interesting. A winter plumber, eh, Rob? So from March to October, when the Antarctic is in darkness, not 24 hours of sunlight, which would probably explain why you didn't actually see 24 hours of sunlight. And that's assuming that you're being honest, which, based on everything I've seen so far about you, you're not.
There are some inconsistencies there with the story. We've seen 18 months, we've heard 12 months, and we've seen winter plumber. Now, what is a winter plumber? Is that 3 months? Is that 6 months? Is that 12 months? I don't know. But because this is what I wanted to talk to Robert about. There are some inconsistencies in the story on the internet.
Now, as far as I can tell, and I've done a ton of reading about this, most plumbers that get employed by the British Antarctic Survey to work in Antarctica are on one of two things, either a 12-month contract or an 18-month contract. Now, even if Robert did sign an 18-month contract, that doesn't necessarily mean he was there for 18 months. In fact, quite the opposite. He was employed as a winter plumber. And from everything I've read, winter plumbers work there from March to late September, early October. So he's not even there at the right time of year to be able to say whether he did or didn't see the 24-hour sun. And just to go one step further, I have just emailed the British Antarctic Survey to see if they can give me any clarity on it. But whichever way that goes, that doesn't change the fact that Robert Shortman lied. If he was there for 12 months, so during the Antarctic winter and the Antarctic summer, he's lying about not seeing the 24-hour sun. And if he is only a winter plumber, which means he wasn't there at all during the Antarctic summer, then he's still a liar.
You sit on a throne of lies.
And as you'll be aware, looking back to the piece I played from Nathan Oakley's show, he said he had talked to Robert for a good period of time, and that was his evidence, Nathan's evidence, for there being not 24 hours of light in Antarctica.
He's treating this as another black swan because one plumber says he didn't see 24 hours of sun in Antarctica. That means nobody has seen 24 hours of sun in Antarctica. So what that means is that Robert is saying that every other plumber, every electrician, every mountaineer, every ship's captain, every scientist. What I'm trying to say is, what Robert is saying is that he's telling the truth, but everybody that he worked with, his colleagues, are all liars.
So, Robert, just so we've got absolute clarity, is there 24-hour daylight in Antarctica, yes or no?
I'd say no, not all the time, no.
But nobody's saying there's 24 hours of sun in Antarctica all the time, Robert. People are saying there's a 24-hour sun during the Antarctic summer. And as far as I can tell, so far, you weren't there during the Antarctic summer. You were a winter plumber. And your own journal entry confirms that you witnessed 24 hours of darkness. So why is 24 hours of sunlight so different? Now, Nathan Oakley isn't the only person who interviewed Robert Shortman. He also appeared on a Flat Earth podcast, which is based here in the UK, and on that podcast he said this about the Antarctic summer.
The summertime period, when there's a lot more daylight period, and you get a lull in daylight, but you don't get darkness as in such,
Well, that's very different to what you said to Nathan Oakley, Robert, isn't it? So when Nathan Oakley asked you, no, there was never a 24-hour sun. But when you were asked by somebody else, you said that there was.
Is there 24-hour daylight in Antarctica, yes or no?
The summertime period, when there's a lot more daylight period, and you get a lull in daylight, but you don't get darkness as in such.
There we are. I fixed it for you. Now you've answered honestly.
We now know, using Nathan Oakley's own witness, the person that many in the Flat Earth hold up to as their singular example of someone who talks about Antarctica and there being not 24 hours of light. We now know that there is no darkness in Antarctica over the southern hemisphere summer.
get a lull in daylight, but you don't get darkness.
Is that what they mean when they refer to something as a smoking gun?
It's just after 12 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock midnight though.
But it doesn't end there. Oh no. So the gentleman you just saw on the screen was Anthony Powell. Now Anthony has spent a hell of a lot of time in Antarctica, and he is the guy behind most of the 24-hour time lapses you find on YouTube of the 24-hour Antarctic Sun. And there's more to that clip than meets the eye as well. I wonder why flat earthers choose it. Let's find out, shall we?
And you'll notice Observation Hill in the back, on left picture of picture there, and there it is in the background,
so
on the right.
All right.
So people were complaining about how the clouds in the start of this shot matched the clouds at the end of the shot, and there's a reason for that, and that's that the original shot ran for a couple of days, but the editor decided he wanted to start with the same imagery in the background to just help give the visual flow. So what we actually did was cut it in the middle, and if you look super closely here, around about when the sun passes behind the light bulb, you see a little crossfade on the clouds in the background. And that's where we've actually joined the two ends of the clip together, and now we're going back around to the start of the clip. So from the point where the sun disappears behind Observation Hill again, we're seeing the same footage that was at the very start.
Right.
So what that means is that when flat earthers play that clip for their audiences, they're being disingenuous because they are deliberately showing them an edited version that doesn't truly represent what that clip is designed to show. But we've got the raw footage of it, which, as Anthony just said, was filmed over a day and a half. Well, I think he said a couple of days. But yeah, we've got the raw footage of that clip. So I will hand you over to Pat because he does an excellent job of providing commentary on this unedited clip of the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. So Pat, over to you, pal.
Right, so let's have a look at this, shall we? This is what we're going to do. This is what you'll notice. That, do you see that around the camera there is a rectangle of rails? Okay, that would be 4 sides. We're going to call this rail here side number 1. All right, so everyone's with me. I'm going to call, I don't actually know what this building is, but for me it looks a bit like a gymnasium. So I'm going to call this the gymnasium building just to give us a reference point. So you've got side number 1 of 4 and a gymnasium. If we move forward, we get to side number 2 coming up here. Side number 2. And the gymnasium over to the left. As we go around, we come to side number 3. So this is the 3rd railing of 4. And then we do a 3/4 rotation. We go around to the back, and this is side number 4. And this will be those clouds you saw that they showed at the start of the documentary footage. And then you can see we come all the way back around again, and we're back to side number 1. So that would be 4 plus 1 is 5 sides we've shown, and there's the building that I'm calling the gymnasium. I don't know what it is, but it looks like a gymnasium. So we've done a full rotation. We're back to side number 2, so that means that's 6 sides. And we go one more corner around.
So now that we've watched the clip of the original unedited time-lapse, what does that mean for people like Nathan Oakley and Robert Shortman and every other flat earth on the planet? Well, it means they're screwed. And what does this mean for the final experiment? Well, it really is going to be a final experiment now, isn't it? Because that footage of the 24-hour sun in Antarctica debunks everything any flat earther has ever said, and the final experiment is now just going to be a mission to verify what we already know, which it kind of was anyway.
Anthony said last night on one of his videos he's offered to pay for a flat earther to go to Antarctica. Well, I've kind of worded that the wrong way. He's challenged flat earthers to pay their way to Antarctica. If they come back with different footage from the same location, he will reimburse them for their trip. So flat earthers, you have the ability, if you truly believe what you believe, and if you're correct, to get a free trip to Antarctica.
So what are you waiting for, flat earthers? Not only have you got Will Duffy offering to pay your way down to Antarctica to witness the 24-hour sun, but Anthony Powell made a similar offer a few years back, and yet nobody took him up on it. I wonder why that could be. Thank you very much indeed to Foom for sponsoring another video. I literally use mine every day. It's absolutely awesome, so don't forget to check out the link in the description below this video. Huge thanks to Pat from DOC Studios for sending me these 2 videos, and I know you didn't ask to be in my video, but you were, so I hope you don't mind, pal. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you, bye.